Good morning. How is everybody doing? Happy Monday as the market is bouncing back here. The S&P 500 is actually making a good bounce back so far this morning, bouncing off of the critical $662 support, which has been very large over the past couple of weeks. I didn't want to say critical 2 times in a row there, but that's how large this is. It was actually the low from last Monday. So, makes sense, I guess, that it's the area that we bounce at here. Watch the SPY closely, though, as it has made a pretty good pre-market recovery today. Similar kind of to what we saw on Friday before the opening sell-off. Not that SPY has to open and sell off right here right away or anything like that at all, but looking at it today, though, good bounce back. Wondering if we continue higher or not. The big stock this morning is Nebius, coming in with a deal with Meta. They had a $2 billion investment from NVIDIA last week. Came in on Wednesday. You can see in pre-market there how much they started exploding. And today now 13%. Another great move in pre-market on this Meta deal. Pretty good infrastructure deal. It's worth more than $2 billion. Let me pull it up here. There it is. $27 billion infrastructure deal. Meta's going to spend $27 billion on AI infrastructure provided by Dutch company Nebius. Deal includes $12 billion of dedicated capacity and up to $15 billion of additional available compute capacity over a 5-year period. Meta said it's planning capital expenditures of up to $135 billion related to AI this year. And it looks like they're sticking to that. They're sticking to their guns with AI. And Nebius is moving. Meta is gapping up a little bit too, 2.48%. This isn't the only news Meta had this morning, though. They had other headlines coming through as well. Meta up nearly 3% in pre-market on speculative report of planned layoffs to offset AI spending. Sounds like another decent headline for them, but either way, Nebius is moving better. And I know you guys love stocks that are up 15% in one day. Who doesn't, right? Who doesn't? What's up, Jane? Good morning. Why are we so green and happy? I don't know. Toro, Tank, Dr. Zoidberg, Wes, Chill, Almighty J, Jason. He said Navitas broke 11 finally. NVTS breaking out and up too, 12.67%. Nice. They really consolidated last week. It was good to see them pop back up. There we go. Navitas Semiconductor. But the SPY is bouncing. Like I said at the beginning, holding that key 662 support. Why is it bouncing today? Well, we did see some news come out over the weekend. We talked about some of it last night, actually, where Iran ended up coming out. I can't remember exactly who said it, but we're looking at the SPY moving higher off of news that the Strait of Hormuz is essentially opening up to some capacity. It doesn't mean that it's fully open, nothing like that, but it does seem like that the rhetoric is shifting a little bit with the Strait. Trump probably wants that to happen too. News came out that the U.S. is actually allowing Iranian oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz right now. At least that's what Besant said. He said, we've let that happen to supply the rest of the world. I mean, it makes sense. You know, these people need oil. Besant, in quotes, said, "We think there will be a natural opening that the Iranians are letting out And for now, we're fine with that. We want the world to be well supplied. The Treasury Secretary said oil prices should fall much lower than $80 per barrel after the war is over. Besson said he does not know when the war will end, but the world will be safer and we will be better supplied. What a move on SPY, though. 669 on some of this rhetoric here. Tesla bouncing up to $400. Key resistance. Big psychological spot. As the market moves higher, Tesla's going to have some trouble there probably. Watch 400. That could be a good zone to maybe look at confirmation for a breakout. What's up, hot sauce? Good morning. Rick. The airline companies basically told Trump to give them cheap oil over the weekend by any means, good guy said. The airlines need that cheap oil. Look at AAL recently taking a massive tumble. JETS, Jets, also tumbling off down towards support. United Airlines down too. They sent him a letter. Yeah, that does happen from time to time where they'll all get together and do that. What's up, KO and Elite? Bitmine is doing good this morning. Is Bitcoin coming back with the market very well, actually? Bitcoin is roaring back to life. Instead of bouncing off resistance and falling, it is pushing right through. That is a good move by BTC up to 74,500. We might see a push through here even. Look at the good strength on this move. Now, one thing I must say is eye up this move that happened over here. This is a pretty strange point for Bitcoin. Eye up these two boxes. I mean, this is, you know, it's very strange, the price action that we've been seeing out of Bitcoin. And at some point, we'll get an actual recovery, but it's eerily similar to that, to that previous move, which ended up being a huge dead cat bounce lower. But the one good thing is that whenever we saw that, there was some confirmation there lower. So look at what we're seeing. Now, one thing that I'm worried about is, let's say that there's some news, like let's say, like now you're really getting speculative here with what I'm about to say, but let's just say hypothetically, Trump and them are letting these ships go through the strait right now because why not, right? Let's let people get supplied. Let's let things go for a minute. And then let's say in a week or two, like let's say the US throws boots on the ground, or maybe they, I don't know, up the strikes, something, right? maybe something else kicks off with it. I think it could get worse again. If that happens, that could maybe be where we get that other leg to the downside. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if it does, the one thing that I do like is that we can see that it clearly followed a trend last time, and as it broke through that trend, that was kind of the point to start to look to short. And that's exactly what I'm going to look for this time. I'm going to watch the trend. Obviously, as it follows the trend, feel free to keep playing it up. But once the trend breaks, that's where I'm going to start to look to shift back down. Right now, market coming back still, powering up pretty good around 669. It's not like it's on fire necessarily, but we are seeing some decent movement and price action hitting here. Wish I got in a circle a month ago. We do think it keeps climbing. Let's see. Circle. Not one that I've looked at in a little while. Maybe a week, maybe, but it was popping off well. 125.50. It slowed down for 3 days, so people probably... Yeah, that's right. That's right. Since Tuesday, I quit moving, so we haven't talked about it too much since then, but wow, it's roaring back here, breaking through the high again after that slight point of consolidation. I mean, it's a little bit high right now. It'll probably keep climbing for a little while, right? A little while. The best thing to do is to average in if you really like it. If you really like the company and you believe in it, averaging in is the way to go. There are 5,000 more Marines and sailors heading to the Middle East over the weekend. I did hear that, and that was one of the things that made me think maybe boots on the ground soon would be something that happens more. How's Nebius? Nebius is stuck at 130 right now. Had that big news this morning, 14% run. Palantir hit resistance. Having trouble going up here. Nvidia touched 185 and now is falling down too. Looking at the Mag 7 setup here. Amazon pulling back right around break even on the day. Microsoft break even. Everything else in the green a little bit though. Meta is up a little bit. They gapped up today on that good news earlier. Also, news of layoffs to fund AI. We talked about that right at open. Uh-oh, Zoidberg regrets buying UMAC now. UMAC pulling back down 4.85%. It's really not too far off from highs, but yeah, if you bought it too high, I mean, and you're trading it, don't forget, you can always cut in the short term and re-enter later. Watch it pop right back tomorrow, but these stocks are pretty volatile. It's marched up well from the middle of 2025, about a year ago, 420% at the high of day today, but it had some pretty volatile movement within here. Lots of volatile pullbacks on the way. 35% drop there. 58% drop there. Oh God, 45% drop there. Hell, from the high a couple days ago, it's already down 16%. A wild mover out here. UMAC. Longer term, though, is where this one's probably going to really shine. I think it's a fun opportunity to look to average in for the longer term, honestly. Where do I get my music from? Here, I'll just send you the link. It's right here on YouTube, of course. Shout out to YouTube. But here we go. There's a link. What are they called? They're called Deep Focus Music. They have 2,000 subscribers. Don't ask how I found it, but I've been listening to them forever now. No idea how I found it, but hey, it works out. Stack UMAC on the lows. Yeah, exactly, Tangi. I think that's the better plan. Short term, or longer term, I mean. Tessie bouncing off 400 right here. Big resistance, triple top. Watch 400. It just touched it for a third time. This could be where we finally see a push. Yeah, honestly. I think it would be extremely fun to sell cash secure puts on UMAC eventually. Hell, I'm sure some people are looking to run them up now. I would wait till it gets a bit lower or just goes through a different type of cycle or pattern, but either way, it's good opportunities, I think, longer term. Get some premium added in too, get in at lower prices than today. I really like Tesla here at 400. This is a big level for today. It's hard not to watch it. Hard not to watch it. SPY continues pushing here. Just pushed through 670 a minute ago. There we go. SPY's getting some good action back here. This is a pretty awesome open so far. We had a good pre-market move by SPY. So far from open, it's moving well too. I wish it didn't have this glitch print on Thinkorswim. It makes it look kind of dumb. But other than that, it's all good. Oh, sorry. I wanted to see what that would do. Trying to make it pop up the bottom like it used to do. They did an update. Now I have to figure out the formatting on this. Tangy Man's gonna be slinging the cash secure puts down there. Stare at the wolf, or sorry, stare at the wall. Says good morning. Posts up some bulls. Mess with the bull, get the horns, as they say. The SPY is popping today. Started pulling back, of course, now, right as we started to watch it, but we've been looking at it slowly rising, and it had that great pop, though, there for a few minutes. That was a nice move. You're looking forward to MU's earnings to see if you should buy long-term shares this week. MU, yeah, they do report on, I believe, Thursday. Let me pull it up. Wednesday and after hours. Wednesday and after hours, Micron will report the biggest one of the week. Biggest report of the week, I think, for many people out there. But there's a lot of growth stocks reporting. You have Oklo just being one there right off the bat. Tencent. Arcat. FLY, Firefly. LUNR, Intuitive Machines. A few pretty big growth stocks. XPEV on Friday, XPEV, Chinese EV maker. Now, these aren't growth stocks, but FedEx Thursday will be pretty interesting as well. I think FDX has been doing pretty bad, hasn't it? Yeah, pulling back in the short term hard. Great overall, but short term started to really gap down. UPS was doing good a few weeks ago, a couple months ago. Remember that nice run up? It pulled back really hard. I'm actually really glad I let go of a lot of options up here at the top. Ended up being pretty damn good timing overall. I've honestly been eyeing it up again now for a possible dip buy as it bounces back towards support again. Happy St. Patty's Eve. Hope we keep the green going. Love to hear that. Yeah, St. Patty's Eve. I'm actually celebrating St. Patty's Day tonight. I'm so damn busy. I don't even have time to eat dinner tomorrow with the family, so tomorrow we will be, well, today we'll be celebrating it. Can we have a look at UMAC, please, or have I missed it? So yeah, I actually have the corned beef and everything going right now, funny enough. Mason, that was on Stock Labs? For a second, I thought you meant you posted that. No way. Oh my god, I see it. Yeah, I've noticed that there's like one or two very weird accounts on there on that Stock Labs, which can be strange. Oh my, I see it. Sam Rowe. He says, I was on a Greyhound bus hungover coming back from a pretty serious St. Patty's Day weekend in Boston. Shit was crazy. What the hell? Yeah, that's the weirdest thing. I don't know why they have that on the news. I've also seen that they have some other guy that used to post like really political stuff too. But almost all the other ones are pretty good. But yeah, there's a couple weird ones on there. Maybe that is the weird one, actually. You might have just, I don't know, updated it or... BA is soaring. Boeing. Nice comeback, Boeing. I like that setup from Friday. Pushed through 211 really nicely today. Yeah, it was a great move. Boeing right through resistance. Nice one. I'm going to look at something here. If you guys are looking at something today, at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, Trump is going to be signing an executive order. So be ready for that later on. I'm sure that'll be a fun one. He'll probably talk as he signs or right after and say a whole bunch of things, so be ready for the market to move. Here goes USO falling back off. This is a big stop for USO at 114, guys. Very large zone of support. Do you think it's getting worse for UMAC from here, Zoidberg said? Probably so. It's pulling back pretty hard right now. The war news kind of cooled off today. I do think that the one problem is that as it cooled off, we could wake up tomorrow and be gapping right back up very easily. Look at the base. Kratos is formed just under 90. KTOS. Just under 90. Well, I'll tell you what, there's a huge base. Whenever you zoom out on Kratos here, you're right. It really extends all the way down to 82, though. But look at this massive zone. I mean, anywhere within this box, you just see bounce after bounce after bounce after bounce. Extending all the way up to like $88. Trump said the war will end soon. He also said oil prices will drop like a rock once the war is over. Trump said Iran's not ready for a deal. He said the cost of the conflict is negligible. Trump declines to comment on deploying ground troops to Iran. Oops. Yeah, now that's a big piece of news. Trump declines to comment on deploying ground troops in Iran. That's pretty big. Put it in the wrong chat for a second there. I think that's the big headline that I just saw. Declines to comment. Almost sounds like they want to deploy. Or it's just a scare tactic. Who knows? some of those troops going over to the Middle East, the Marines that were deployed, will be interesting to see if they end up getting thrown in or not. BMNR has been looking pretty good today. Pretty good momentum all around here. Oil got volatile there. Very close to the 114 support as Trump made those comments. These little comments intraday, and whenever he talks or somebody big with influence on the conflict talks, we see things start to move. Let's go look at the watch list today. Navitas leading it, 13.3%. It's tied up there with Nebius. Navitas and Nebius are up there together. That's like a tongue twister, like Sally sold seashells down by the seashore. Navitas and Nebius. 1160 on NVTS. Good resistance here, but if it starts to break that, watch for a continuation and maybe a push higher. Tesla just broke 400 finally. Hopefully it keeps going. TSLA got through. Oh, there it goes. A couple minutes ago, actually. And it even confirmed off of 400 right here. Look at that little wick extending right back close to 400. Good to see it bounce right back off that, too. Yeah, the SPY's bouncing right back here today. I feel like there's some bears that might have gotten trapped from the end of last week, looking at all the bearish PA, especially around the end of the day, as SPY closed pretty low. That was a pretty rough day and move there. I bet there was a lot of people that loaded up on hedge positions or anything like that for the weekend that probably got screwed over a little bit this morning. Which that's always the risk whenever you're holding something over the weekend like that. It's always the risk. ONDS 5.22%. Ondas moving up. Yeah, don't forget, guys, we also have the NVIDIA GTC conference going on March 16th to the 19th. Looks like Jensen Huang's going to speak at 2 p.m. Eastern time. That can be pretty big, of course, for NVIDIA itself and the entire chip sector, really. The GTC. Global Technology Conference. Gonna see how that's gonna be. Maybe announce some new chips, new updates. Tesla started production of the Cybercab last week. Did they? That's some pretty good news. They are doing well today, up through 400 very well, continuing to push out to new highs on the day. It's actually looking really solid. 402.17. They're starting to hold this base on the daily chart, which is a big zone of support for Tesla. I'm actually going to go ahead and delete my drawings on Tesla here. Start fresh. Here's our big zone of support. Right around 380 to 390. I know that's a big zone, a $10 zone, right? But that's just how it is on stocks that like Tesla that are so large, like $400 stocks that can bounce a lot more than usual. PPTA, Jake said. Never heard of PPTA before? Perpetua Resources Corp. You know, the good thing about Perpetua is that they go in this cycle of crazy uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, downtrend, kind of like they're stair-stepping higher, as we like to say. And right now, they just went through another phase of that uptrend, and then they downtrended. And now they're starting to possibly bounce back up off of the dip again. Very interesting for PPTA. Can they continue this uptrend that's been going on since March of 2024? Holy crap. That's a long time ago. That's a big uptrend going on. No, I didn't even think about that, degenerate. I'm not too surprised. Not too surprised. PPTA. Doesn't seem to really be the big news hitting anything, though, at least. A lot of distractions out there. Hell, there's been so much distraction. I didn't even know that the NVIDIA GTC conference was today. TSA workers are mad again. Are they? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. More airport disruptions expected as TSA agents quit amid first weekend without full pay. Trump tells the TSA agents to go to work amid the partial shutdown. The last time that the TSA agents didn't go to work, they missed out on 10 grand. Trump gave them 10 grand bonuses for anyone that stayed and had good attendance during the last shutdown. Oh, wow. Good stuff, Mason. Just in time. Yeah, they are moving up this morning, though. Apparently, they got together. They sent Trump a letter. Airline executives urge Congress to restore pay. They're probably getting pretty worried out there. Oil prices spiking too. Somebody said they sent a letter earlier. I didn't see it in the news there, but... a letter to Congress. Yep. Tesla 403 coming up. I mean, that all depends, Zoidberg. It depends on your account size. It depends on your strategy for the long term. Man, it sounds like you're over leveraged to the gills. I hope not. I hope not. But UMAC can definitely continue down for a little while here, so we got to keep that in mind. I think that there's a good shot UMAC ends up recovering. The question is when, right? Can you withstand like 2 weeks of this, potentially? Like, what happens if UMAC does this? That's what I'm wondering. Do you have time for something like this? There's just a lot that goes into it. You know, pull up in 2 weeks. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't want you to blow yourself up. But I do think that over some period of time, it could be good to buy the dip. Australia needs reserves? Like oil reserves? Yeah, you could start just doing like what Tansy said there. Sell covered calls on the shares. I think that he has options though, I would assume. Banks are still pretty low. They started to try to bounce back today a bit. JP Morgan's coming back slightly, but it's not really what I want to be seeing. Search YouTube for 60-minute reports on them. 60 minutes. Some of those things are interesting, honestly. The brackets are open, I heard today. Gonna have to make the bracket for Stocked Up here. Let's hop in. Let's see. All right. Who do we pick? Who do we pick here? Definitely picking Duke. Ohio State. St. John's. Kansas. Now, I think I'm going to pick South Florida to beat Louisville. That's going to be one that I picked that's weird. Man, it's hard not to just pick all the good teams. Ooh, Missouri versus Miami. I'm going Missouri just because I live there. That one's going to screw me over. I'm going Texas or whatever on that one. Wisconsin versus High Point. Oh, man. Yeah. Do I dare pick Long Island to beat Arizona? Oh, that's going to be a tough one. I don't do these a lot, guys. I watch some college basketball though, but I don't do good on the brackets ever. I'll tell you that. I'm picking High Point too. So we have some weird picks here. Yeah, here I'll if you want to get into a bracket for free with us, join up with the link that I'm sending right now in the chat. And then also use code TradingFloor to join. It's free. Join it up. If you guys join up and it's a lot of fun this year, who knows? Next year, we might make it way more fun. So, join up. If you're interested, if you're into this stuff at all, even if you're not, it can be kind of fun to compete a little bit. Do a little competition action. All right, so we got done with the first round. Let's go ahead and check out Tesla. Go back to the market here for a few minutes before we pick the second round there. SPY still holding up very well here above 670. Love to see it moving like this. For those of you that are joining up wondering why on God's earth is the market moving up this morning as well as it is, well, there's a couple things. Number one, oil's going down. That's one of the biggest things hitting today. Look at crude oil last night. It gapped up. At first, it looked nasty. It was holding above $100 a barrel again, but it rejected under 100. After it got under $100 last night, it really failed to reclaim and hold through $100 in a meaningful way, especially through that high from the gap up. It really failed to get back there, and then eventually it re-broke back through 100 and really died off now into this morning. We're seeing USO get pretty low, very close to support, within about 37 cents of 314. So very close to a very large support. Or sorry, 114 USO support. And the reason why oil is falling down is that there's been some positive developments coming this morning. The U.S. is allowing Iranian tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, Besson says. He says, we've let that happen to supply the rest of the world. There were a couple of really good quotes here. The Iranian ships have been getting out already, and we've let that happen to supply the rest of the world. We think that there will be a natural opening that the Iranians are letting out, and for now, we're fine with that. We want the world to be well supplied. So things are sounding pretty good there. He also said oil prices should fall much lower than $80 per barrel when the war is over. Said he does not know when the war will end, but the world will be safer and we will be better supplied. So pretty positive statements there coming out of the Strait of Hormuz, at least for right now. Now that the Strait of Hormuz might be falling to the back burner a bit, what else are we going to see happen, right? That's what I'm curious of. What else is going to start hitting on that regards? How's everybody's Monday going so far, though? Hopefully well. We almost had tornadoes here yesterday. Thank God we didn't. I don't know who else dealt with that big line of storms yesterday, but definitely no fun here. Now it's 22 degrees somehow. Wild stuff. It's going to be 15 degrees tomorrow. And then it's going to be 75 degrees 2 days later and 79 degrees this weekend. It's going to go from 15 degrees to 79 degrees in like 3 days. And it's going to go from 15 to 73 in 2 days. Holy. Getting wild out here. What the? Crazy stuff. You told your snowplow guy he can wait until next winter. He's not plowing today. That will melt in 2 days. Uh-oh. He's going to be mad at you. But yeah, get in on the bracket if you guys are in. Let's do the second round really quick. Second round. We're speeding through this one today. We're going to go... Ooh, this is probably going to be a tough pick, but I'm going to go St. John's over Kansas. Kind of a weird pick. And then we're going to go Michigan State. We're going to go UConn. Over here. Oh, do I take Missouri over Purdue? Do I dare? I think we're going to do it. Why not? Maybe that'll help me this year. Whoa. It's not what I wanted. Yeah. So far, this is kind of what I'm looking for. You know, we're going to go Villanova, actually, over Utah State. And then we're going to go Duke. We're going to go Arizona. We're going to go Gonzaga. We're going to go Michigan State. And then from here, we're going to go Duke. We're going to go Arizona. And I think it's going to be the big boys facing off against each other. We're going to go Duke with the win. How many total points scored in the game? I'm going to see this. I said, what is the average point scored for the total last 10 NCAA championship games? This is dumb. It's not helping me. The average is 144.1 over the past 10 years. 144.1. It looks like a lot of them came in around like 141, 135, 141. There's been 135 has hit like 3 times, 2 times. That's crazy. And 136 has hit 2 times too. I'm going to go 137. Wait, I still have all this? Oh my gosh, I missed half the bracket. I missed it all. I didn't know it was this big. Oh my gosh, well, I'm not doing all that on here. That takes way too long. Okay, well, I'll figure that part out later. I was wondering why it seemed like things were off, or why I didn't see a few teams on there. I'm going to have to redo the whole thing now. That shows you guys how much I watch this, right? Okay. Tesla 404 coming up. I'll send it later in the chat. How about that? Tesla 404 resistance. Still kind of powering up, though. Like to see it. SPY slowly chopping down here. Turning over slightly. Apple, 1.28%. Hitting 253.50. A lot of stocks starting to turn over after this massive uptrend here from this morning. Let's go check on Nebius and Navitas. NVTS turning over hard. Intel turning over hard. Nvidia down. Come on, SPY to 600. Sell it all now. Tangy Man says. You said 600. My gosh. You're going to make people upset, Tangy. Elite says, I like the mindset. Corner says you hurt his feelings. What a drop off, though. That was pretty harsh. Let's see if there's any news hitting here. White House says Trump-Xi meeting could be delayed per CNBC. Let's go see Tesla here. TSLA. Still pulling down a bit harder than earlier. We might be seeing we are seeing a bit of a market-wide pullback at the moment. We can see it on Mag 7 with a lot of them pulling over at the same time. But it's even filtering over into growth stocks as well that we're doing pretty good today. Coinbase was doing pretty well. Started rejecting from its high of the day around 206 here. Strategy pulled back as well after having a pretty good move up into the morning. Bitmine, Immersion, BMNR also very similar, pulling back now with Bitcoin on the turnover too. Boeing was nice today. Oh, I just saw some news hit with Boeing. Biggest Boeing 747 user makes first Airbus order for freighters. Uh-oh. That doesn't sound like the best news there for Boeing, which has actually been doing good today. Coming up off of the dip on the daily chart, you can see how much of a turnover Boeing's actually had. Turning over quite hard. Sorry, guys. If not SNDK, then look at Light. All Night Gamer said SNDK is always a buy. SNDK has been pretty nice. Look at the daily again. Approaching the highs here. It is pretty wild. The all-time high is at... Well, let's see. 724.82. So we'll say 725. All-time high at 725 on SNDK. Yeah, no kidding, though. Continuing to power higher. And even as stocks turn over, notice how SNDK hasn't really turned over at all. The pullback from the high of day has been so meaningless. Pulls down 1.2%. Like nothing, almost. Nvidia's probably down more than that from the high of day. No, I lied. I lied. But it looks a bit more volatile. Both are pretty... Well, both have consolidated pretty well. But SNDK just seems like it's really staying flat here. It's only a buy for you because you love RAM. That's pretty funny. I love RAM too. I have 64 RAMs. No, just kidding, guys. 64 gigs. DDR5. You know the drill. I should sell it right now for like $1,000 and then buy it back in like a few months for like $300. But I don't really give a shit about it that much, but I'm sure that's what a lot of people are doing. Mason says, I have a pet RAM. You know what's funny about that? I have a friend that literally has pet goats, and I'm not kidding you, he wants a pet ram. Like a small, or maybe not a ram, maybe a sheep. I don't know. It's like, it's kind of like a ram. I don't know if it's like technically a sheep or a ram or a goat or what, but it's one that like, they put their heads down and they like hit each other. It's funny. I knew I should have put it into the skincare thing. It's booming today. Skincare, Ulta? What's the skincare? I might have missed that one. WNW, 143%, All Night Gamer said. Coming in with the penny stocks again, 144% though. Miwoo Technology. I never heard of this one before. Definitely seems like something from China or Korea or somewhere like that. Somewhere from that portion of the world. Maybe not. Who knows? I'm going to look it up. MEIWU. Never heard of it, like I said. Always find something new here, don't we? Let's see what they do here. They operate primarily as an online retailer, but they're rapidly pivoting its business over the past few years. The core business is clean food retail, organic and green foods, specialty products, restaurants. Strategic pivot to skincare and AI product line. They sell serums, collagen, prebiotics, while providing skincare training services. They announced a strategic AI insights initiative to use AI to help research new skincare formulations and ingredient interactions. Okay. So pivoting to more to skincare stuff. Very interesting. WNW. On fire, though. You never know what you're going to find out there. All right, do you? I love scouring the market for diamonds, but I always find fool's gold. What? Sometimes I eat coal. He says Fastly, FSLY, and Fly, FLY. FST, FSLY. Fast. It's been a while since I've looked at Fastly myself. Wow, they've been recovering up a lot. FSLY. I really have not looked at Fastly in a long time here. FLY, Firefly. At least not to memory. Firefly, though, I have. I have eyed up Firefly a lot off of this dip, and it has been coming up now, gapping up in a pretty solid way, but consolidating very hard on the gap up. Almost seems like a consolidation waiting for a better pop up here. Would be nice to see the support hold on Firefly down around $18.50 to $18. That's a big zone. The low is down around 16. Ever since the stock came on the market, it's just dropped off, but that happens sometimes if the IPOs get too hyped up. So it could be pretty advantageous to potentially look to average into this one for the long term. Almost reminds me of something like, let's say UMAC, right? UMAC like had that good initial pop, but it got too overhyped, sold off. Ended up being a good buy the dip scenario as time went on, as the growth stock started to come back. Same thing here, potentially with Firefly. Speaking of UMAC, dying off in the short term. Our cat continuing to move lower too. Yeah, I generally don't look at penny stocks like that though, but interesting, you know, nonetheless. I don't like having too much exposure to these growth stocks for the longer term, though. You know, it's a lot easier to look at something like, let's just say, the overall market and just say, okay, you know, you buy in. Now, this isn't the case, but like from the point that I started trading, to now, the S&P 500 or VOO is up 243%. That's a pretty solid number, right? I haven't enjoyed that whole thing, but like, let's say that, you know, you just bought in, like, let's say a little bit after the COVID drop. Right now, up 83%. You know, pretty solid for just holding safely for a few years, like 5-6 years. That's a pretty solid number there. So I like to let the overall market dictate a lot of the long-term portfolio, of course, but it's never bad to have some growth names mixed in as well. It's just what percentage of the portfolio would you allocate to some of these? Some of them would be pretty low. America says, you ain't making nothing. What? ULY is the biggest mover, but you don't trust it, good guy says. ULY. Yeah, I don't know what happened with this one. Looks like they had earnings and a big gap up, but maybe there's like a deal. There has to be something with ULY. They're entering an agreement to be acquired by Ajero for $5.50 in cash per share. Also, they reported better than expected Q4 results. Wow, so they were trading for $2 and they got agreed to be bought for $5.50. Holy shit, talk about a shareholder delight. If you were holding this one and your average price was anything under 550, you're happy as hell now, I'm sure. That is very interesting with ULY. Okay, guys, give me just a moment. Quick intermission here. We've been going for about an hour and 15 minutes or so. Quick break very quickly. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab a quick water. If you guys have any interesting stocks you're looking at or have any questions about today's price action or anything, throw them in the chat. There's been a lot going on this morning, but you know, there's been a lot of news that's been helping the market rise. Granted, it has pulled back here the past few minutes, but still been more green than not. Okay, and we will be right back. One sec. Okay, we are back, guys. Sorry about that. We're back and we're hydrated. Hope everyone's having a good morning so far, though. Pretty wild start. I love the initial price action to the upside. Not really loving this chop back lower, though. Gave up all of the gains from open now at this point on the move. Pretty rough. What do you know about chop? We're chopping that credit card in half is what we're going to do. Look at Tesla here, $400 holding up as support, straddling $400 as we speak on Tesla. Man, SPY gave back some good gains there. Now it's in a very strange setup. Any news on why oil is going back up, or is it just a dead cat bounce? It's really not bouncing up that hard at this point. I would just call this normal. Yeah, I would just call this more normal than anything, if I was being honest. I don't think that we need to call it anything other than that. It would be funny if Tesla slowly climbed to 420 and hit it on that day. You mean like if Tesla hit 420 on 420? That would actually be pretty hilarious if it did. It's not far off. Who knows? Maybe we'll just bounce around for a month. 420. I haven't heard people... Obviously, people mention it sometimes, but I haven't heard the April date mentioned in a while. Normally, it's just for Tesla's stock price, but... Oh, man. All Night Gamer said WNW, huge candle again. Holy, 197% now. No kidding. WNW is seriously on fire there. All night? That's pretty good. If you're scalping it, congrats to you. You pulled a 50% gain from Beyond? Well, hey, there we go. He goes, I'm low-key Warren Buffett. What? Did you pull shares? No, you did options. That's funny. Gas prices in California are 49% above the U.S. national average. $5.53 a gallon. Oh, man. Yeah, I paid nearly $5 a gallon to put premium in my Corvette this weekend. Whenever I was gassing up the Corvette, I was thinking about you guys, because you guys kept talking about the gas prices, and I was looking, and I was like, damn, they are getting pretty high. It was like $60 or something to fill up. Nothing too crazy, really, but I know it definitely impacts consumers out there. Yeah, it only takes premium, Mason. In most performance cars, you're supposed to run premium. Even if you're running things like just like a normal like Lincoln or a Mercedes or Audi or anything like that, they're all supposed to take premium. And they're normally tuned for premium as well. So they will get like they'll normally now this gets kind of silly, but they might make like 10 more horsepower or something on premium, which, you know, isn't that big. But if you have like a Corvette style like sports car, it's like always premium. With most cars, it's kind of crazy. If you get a tune and you start running premium, you can up your horsepower by like 40 horse or 50 horsepower just by getting a tune, so to say. But obviously for normal cars, you don't want to be doing all that. Like in my Jeep, I just run normal unleaded. Trump is opening drilling in California and trying to deregulate the car market in California to lower prices. Opening up the drilling. I saw that last week. Some news come through, or over the weekend. I did see that with Cali. Sean says, I have this 06 Impala and it's getting hard to find E85 anywhere for it. You know what's funny? The gas station right next to my house has E85. But you're right, it is hard to find. I used to have a 2008 Impala and then a 2011 Impala. Those were my first two cars, Sean. I never ran E85 in them, though, even though you could. I never ran it. Granted, I was like 16. I didn't even know what E85 was. I had no idea. I was told, don't put that in. Uh-oh, Tangy Man. Getting upset with Gavin. Some of these headlines are wild out here, guys. Whoa. Uh-oh. Trading was just halted on key contracts on the London Metal Exchange. That's pretty big news. Key contracts halted on the London Metal Exchange. What's going to happen with gold and silver here? That's my question. Uh-oh. I have futures open. These are delayed a little bit. Let me get my good ones open here. Oil's trading right around 95 a barrel at the moment. Gold futures didn't move much. SI, not much either. Eyeing them up, though, with that news. You never know if something crazy happens on the London exchange. What could end up spilling out and over into U.S. markets or into the worldwide market for metals. The metals market is huge in the world. Does anybody in here know something called Tears for Fears? I'm assuming somebody out there knows what I'm talking about. I knew that would get you guys going a little bit. Tears for Fears, yeah. I saw somebody mention something like that over the weekend in a movie, and I knew it was the band, and I know a lot of you guys are from like the 80s and 90s and stuff, and I figured you'd get a kick out of that one. I was gonna ask what their best song was. What do you guys think their best song is? If we had to pick one. Nikki said, I am an 80s child. Maybe that's what it is, Manicured. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why I heard about it. So far, gold's holding up on this. Oh, you know what? I need to be here, don't I? Yeah, gold's starting to bounce back a little bit on this news. Nothing too crazy, though, at the second. I'm kind of surprised I hadn't seen more movement coming through. SPY on the 1 minute hitting 670. Starting to reject back off. Nikki Trade says, Head Over Heels. Best Tears for Fears song. Head Over Heels. Okay. That'll be the one I listen to later. I'll have to report back tomorrow. Then. Huh. See you later, gamer. Have a great one. WNW holding 5. It is, yeah, for now. Let's see if it can bounce and keep going. Actually looking pretty good. Jake said silver popped on that news. Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Yeah, gold and silver trying to hold that base on that. WNW. You're never going to be able to sleep if WNW is doing good. That would be funny if you had alerts set and like you finally fall asleep and then it's like, ding. That would be pretty hilarious. Someone needs to do that like in a movie. And then later on in the movie, the people have a problem and then they fall asleep and then it goes ding, 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 ding. And then they never wake up and they miss out on like $1 million. That would be the best movie out there. We just wrote a whole premise for a movie here this morning. We should get it going. Trump speaking in roughly 45 minutes. Whoa, for what? Let's go see the roll call. Roll call, 11:45, it says. 11:45 Eastern. The president participates in a lunch with the Trump Kennedy Center board members. The president will speak with reporters prior to the event, per Truth Social post. Yeah, he will. I suppose so. Didn't realize he was speaking here that soon, I guess. He also is doing an interview at 2:30, and then he's signing an executive order at 3:30 p.m. Eastern too. So be ready for those. Those are going to be two pretty big events as well. Imagine being 8 years old and your grandpa says, "Hey kiddo, today you're learning to drive." It was the middle of a blizzard. He said his grandpa was drinking and he had to take him to box against his World War II buddy's grandkid. Oh gosh. That would be pretty scary, Tangi. Xavier says, leave a like on the stream. Yes, sir. Leave a like. I appreciate you guys joining up today. Pretty wild start to the morning. Wild day overall. We're looking at the 1 minute chart right now of WNW. SPY's still stuck at 670 as well. Oh no, KNMSO. He said, my oldest is 9 and almost able to reach the pedals. It's almost his time to learn soon. Oh. That'll be fun. I can't forget, I can't believe how nervous I was when I was first driving. I will not be showing Trump talk, Almighty. I have some stuff to do today. Couple things coming up here in a little while, but should be all good. I'm sure Trump will be live somewhere. Back to Tesla. What a wild time. He said, thanks, Grandpa. Look at USO, Ramirez says. Ticker symbol USO popping back up after dropping off like a rock this morning. It dropped off towards 114 support and bounced. I actually posted about USO this morning in the chat. This was a very big area of support to watch for sure. Let's do the rest of this bracket really fast. I do already have my winner pick, though. We're going to have Florida winning this. We're going to go Clemson. Now that we're a little later in the stream and the market's getting a bit boring, we'll go through here. Nebraska beating Troy. Haha, Sean, here we go. North Carolina, VCU. I have Duke winning the whole thing, Shy. I have Duke winning. They'll probably end up winning because they always win. It's like betting against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Now this one's going to be a hard one. VCU in North Carolina. We also have St. Louis. Man, St. Louis was actually ranked. This whole year they were ranked. Like at one point they were ranked like 11th and then 15th and then 20th and then 25th. And then the very last week they got unranked because they just kept losing and losing and losing. But with that said, I'm going to pick them to beat Georgia because I think that's going to be a wild upset. St. Louis is pretty bad. They play pretty bad teams. They got unranked at the end. They didn't really beat any good teams all year besides one. So, really, I mean, they didn't wow me. I was very surprised that they were ranked at some points like they were. Very, very, very surprised. But they were the best three-point shooting team in the entire country, though. So, if they get hot with some threes, they can go on a run. The problem is, at the end of the year, they got really cold on the threes. But that's where their claim to fame is. It was like the best three-point team in the country. I do not see him beating Michigan, though. Over here, I'm going to do Texas Tech over Alabama. I don't feel like picking anyone to upset these guys. There's like no upsets to be picked here. I'm picking Illinois. Maybe I'll do A&M over St. Mary's. I think that might be what we go for a bit of a upset over here because there's always something. And I think VCU over North Carolina is going to be a game that people need to watch for as well. VCU is in St. Louis's conference. So VCU is another really good team that always does good in that conference. I'm going to go Nebraska over Vandy. I'm going to go Illinois over VCU, Houston over A&M. This is where it gets hard. I'm going to go Illinois over Houston, Florida over Nebraska, Michigan over Texas Tech. Gosh, these are some tough ones. I think I'm going to go Tennessee over Virginia. Something weird. I shouldn't. We'll go for Virginia. All right, here's what we're looking like so far. One and 3 versus 1 and 3. Funny enough. I think we're going to do something a bit different. Michigan versus Illinois. And then up here, we're going to have Michigan beating Arizona. It's going to be Duke versus Michigan. That's what I think. We're going to lock it in. We're picking Duke. And we're submitting the bracket. All right, there we go. Our stocked up bracket is done. Let's see how we do compared to you guys here. What's our groups here? Stocked up. Wow, a lot of people joined up. Tom's #1 fan, Mr. Pancakes. Who did that? Mr. Pancakes. You are hilarious. That is funny, sir. There we go. Let's see what we get. Groups. Bracket filled. We need Wes to pick his. Wes, that's hilarious if that's you. All right, Palantir bouncing 150-120. I like that double bottom on Palantir today. Big area of support. If you're looking for something to play today, you could possibly create an alert and wait. Once 150-120, 151 gives out on Palantir, look to get in for a quick scalp to the downside. Maybe catch a nice runner there. Rename your bracket to I'm going to lose to Mason. I probably should. I drafted my fantasy baseball team on Friday. Get anybody good? I got the second pick, so I got Judge, which is pretty fun. I feel like eventually Judge is going to get hurt or something, though. I'm scared of. But, I don't know. I feel pretty good about it. I have Judge. That's pretty much it, but... Pretty interesting morning, though, nonetheless. We had that big rip up. Things started to get slow. Nvidia's starting to bounce back. We're getting a comeback. Don't forget, Jensen Huang is going to be speaking at the GTC conference today, which could be fun. It's good to see these things starting to bounce back, though. Starting to give a bit more of a bullish look here on the day. I like it. Maybe SPY will start to break through 670 and recover back towards its high of the day as well. Even Bitcoin pulled back there a little bit. Let's go back to the metals, check in on them. And still not moving too much after that news was announced with the London exchange. Haven't seen any big updates or anything since then. LME spokesperson said they're aware of the issues, working to resolve it. Okay. Okay, so we did just get an update. They are aware of the issues and are working to resolve it. So it might not be a huge negative situation like what we thought. I thought maybe there was something going on with metals where there was like some massive dump or something, but it sounds like maybe there was just an error on the system. But all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and call the stream there today. I appreciate everybody for joining up and for making the community what it is. Thank you guys as always. I hope you guys are finding some good opportunities out there this morning. There are definitely some to be had. If you're not yet in the trading floor, join up on the link I'm sending in the chat. Check it out. If you have a great week this week and you're not in, join up. There can be a lot of opportunities that we talk about, especially with furthering your options knowledge and getting you down that right path and mindset to really profit in the longer run. Of course, there's a lot of short-term strategies, short-term opportunities, and multiple tools to help you as a trader as well within the trading floor. So if you're not yet a member, check it out. Obviously, yearly saves a ton, but hey, just try it out for a month. If you love it, join yearly as many do. If not, hey, you'll probably learn a lot within that month anyways. Let's go. I'll be live tomorrow morning as I am every morning, as long as I'm not super sick. Pretty rare, though. We're getting settled in here with the new house and everything. So nice and consistent. We're going to have a lot of big updates coming to the stream here over the next couple of months as well. It's going to get fun out here, guys. But other than that, I'll talk to you later. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And I will see you guys in the Discord. Or I better see you in the Discord, I better say. See ya. Happy Monday.